On today's child seat review segment, we're taking a look at the 2016 Jeep Renegade. This is the smallest Jeep sold in the United States. And as usual, this is a Graco Classic Ride 50 child seat. This is a convertible seat suitable for forward or rearward facing installation and children between 4 and 50 pounds. The important thing to know about this child seat is it is a very average size. This is right in the middle of the segment, so you can definitely find wider child seats. You can also find narrower child seats. The overall dimensions of the Renegade are a little bit interesting, and this will affect your child seat situation depending on your specific needs, because this is shorter than something like a Honda HR-V, so it's going to be a little bit less able to carry rearward facing child seats because of the room between the rear bench seat and the front bench seat. However, if you need to carry 3 forward-facing child seats, this is about 4.5 inches wider than a Honda HR-V, so you can actually fit 3 child seats across the back in the Renegade. You can't in any of the other subcompact crossovers in the US. As usual, the first thing to do is to move the front seat as far forward as is safe. You want about an inch or 2 between your knees and the dashboard because you don't want to be hurt in the event of an accident. Even with the front seat in that position, there's just not enough room to safely install a rearward-facing child seat back here and have an adult sitting right up front. Because the front seats in the Renegade are fairly wide for this segment, it also wasn't possible to safely put a rearward-facing child seat between the 2 front seats with both of those front seats adjusted for me. Obviously, if you're a shorter person, specifically if you had shorter legs, you may be able to move that seat far enough forward to do this properly. However, my recommendation would be to move up to something like a Jeep Cherokee because there's definitely enough room in that vehicle for rearward-facing child seats like this and adults up front. Improving practicality, the front seat in the Renegade folds almost completely flat. You can see that we're at just about the right angle where you could push cargo in on the seat back and then onto the dashboard if you needed to. That's not quite as handy as the seat in the Encore or the Chevy Trax that folds completely flat. However, it definitely is handier than most of the entries in this segment. On the flip side, the Renegade is the only entry in this segment that I've been able to fit 3 child seats across the rear bench seat. And there actually is a little bit of clearance between the child seat and the door left. Not quite as much as I would like. If this situation describes you, I would suggest getting the narrowest child seats that you can find. However, this is definitely more room than you'll find in something like that Honda HR-V, the CX-3, the Renegade, the Trax, etc. Because this rear bench seat is about 4.5 inches wider than we find in the Honda. Another nice touch that I really appreciate is that the center seat belt actually comes out of the seat itself, not out of the ceiling. That means that the center seat is not going to be skewed to one side or the other. That means it's easier to mix a combination of adults and child seats or child seats and booster seats across the back. When it comes to cargo capacity, remember that the Renegade may be wider than some of the entries in this segment, but it is not as long, and that really plays into the cargo area right back here. I do have several bags in the back. I'll go ahead and remove them so you can see what's going on here. You can almost fit a 24-inch roller bag completely below the cargo area load floor, but that cargo area load floor has a dual purpose because this vehicle does have the removable sunroofs, and if you want to remove them, there's actually a bag right under here, and this is exactly where the sunroofs would go. It would go in that entire area under the cargo area load floor. However, if you either remove this cargo area load floor or you slide it on its lowest notch right there, we find 18.5 cubic feet of cargo space, which is more than you'll find in something like a CX-3, but less than you'll find in the Honda HR-V. Even though this cargo area is a little bit smaller than we find in the Honda, it is well shaped. It's deep enough that you can put a 26-inch roller bag from the back of the seats all the way to the front here, and you won't have a problem closing the lid. It also means that you can put child seats like this in this particular position and still close the lid and have the tonneau cover completely cover your cargo area. You can fit 2 child seats and some additional luggage back here fairly easily. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Again, I'm Alex Dykes, and this has been the 2016 Jeep Renegade. Be sure and check out the complete Renegade review. It'll be up on my channel in about a day or so. You can also check out related videos, subscribe to my channel, find me over on Facebook, and I'll see you next week.